Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Two Dudes and a Room, the best podcast on the internet. My name's Nathan.
And I'm Oscar.
And today we're going to be talking about the question of the day, which was submitted by Madden Rank 1. Thank you, Madden Rank 1.
Thank you, Madden.
Oscar, I wasn't aware that you were allowed to submit questions on your own show.
Well, from time to time, I take a break, off my throne of being the best player ever at Madden. And, I like to get back to the little guys.
The little guys.
Being us, yes.
Yourself. So let's not really question that. Let's not get into the logic there. But the question of the day is, what are your thoughts on RNG in gaming? Which I think is a good question. All jokes aside, all Madden stuff aside.
There's a lot of RNG in Madden.
There is a lot of RNG in Madden. But I think it's a good question because RNG is something that's been in games since.
Well, let's just, before we start, for people who don't know, RNG stands for random number generator. It's basically a shorthand for like chance or like, how would you explain it?
It's like you said, a random number generator. So it's a truly random element in a game, right?
Yeah.
Unlike the way that real life probability works, which is not a random number. In real life probability, there are always some factors that cause an outcome. Even when rolling a die, there are physics factors that influence the outcome of the die, which is why you can, weight die and like scam people and shit. But with games, because it's coded, it's like Oscar said, it's a random number that gets generated. Now, there's different algorithms for the random numbers, but a lot of people don't think that this is real probability because, it's a formula. It's not actually like real, truly random.
Yeah, and when it happens to you in a video game, it's, it was the best of times and it was the worst of times. So depending on which side of the fence that you fall on.
So this is a hard one for me because, I get the thrill in like gambling. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's something fun about opening, a chest in a game or like something where you don't know what it is and you get it. But at the same time, I feel like there are also problems with RNG as well. Like there are flaws with that system. And I like when games have, like, for example, if you're playing an RPG and different monsters in different areas have like loot pools, like where certain items are guaranteed to drop from them. Or, I mean, that's a bad way of phrasing it. Like only 35 items can drop from them, but you only get 3 each time they die.
Exactly.
I like that form of RNG because I know that I can just grind this area to get the thing I want.
Yeah.
And it still feels like exciting when I get it,
Yeah.
I like that a lot more than like, the best items in the game being complete RNG. And so you just have to like grind for like years and years and years and years to finally hopefully get it.
Right.
And some people get it in like a week.
Right.
So.
No, I feel what you're saying. I like that kind of RNG, but the type of RNG that I have seen the most has to come up in like Madden, of course, where if the game decides that if you've gone on a win streak for so many wins, it just decides, okay, now all your players suck. And now, things that would have worked before don't, just because little Timmy needs his win.
So you're actually suggesting that the game will do like a Mario Kart thing where it will give people who are doing worse in the race more and people who are doing better in the race less.
I don't even think it
is that what you're suggesting?
It's like that, but even worse. So if I play Madden Online, let's say, and I go on a 5-win streak, in the game's mind or in the game's coding, I'm enjoying the game a little too much. And the logic is that if I win so much, it's not challenging for me. And I will then get bored with the game and then stop playing. I need to lose and become frustrated enough to try and win again, if that makes any sense.
I bet you wish our Smash games worked like that.
No. There's a lot of RNG in Smash too, as I'm sure you notice.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Anyway, but what happens is that like once you go on that winning streak, the game sees that, and then it puts you in the sixth game, and in the sixth game, your players, you'll notice this. Your players who are wide open will start missing catches, or their players will like make amazing catches or something like that, or they'll break a tackle, or they'll start getting sacks on you really fast for no reason. You'll be doing the same exact thing against a player that is of a certain skill, and it'll just turn the tide in their favor for you to lose. And maybe that person was going on a losing streak, and Madden knows that if you go on a losing streak for long enough, you'll just give up. And so what it does is that it kind of bends that table to let them have a win, so they'll get excited and keep playing. It's the opposite of what is happening to the person who's winning a lot.
Now I gotta know, is this all headcanon for you, or has this been proven?
So people have like done like studies, and not studies, but like people have tested this out, and it's been like shown that like, hey, if you're doing really well, it'll just start shitting on you for no reason. Like, but I don't know if it's been like a scientific study or something like that.
Well,
yeah,
it doesn't have to be scientific, but like I would like to see a person doing a video where they're like, we found it. Here's the code.
There probably is that online.
Here's the code. Here it is.
Yeah.
Like,
if you look online for it, I'm sure it's there.
Okay, because I didn't know if it was just one of the. A lot of people have like their own like
a John.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not just a John. Like people have their own like stuff they believe in with games of chance.
Right.
Like another game of chance that I like, fucking blackjack. But when you start getting into video games, it's a little bit different. Like in blackjack, you make decisions that are based around risk.
Right. That's also another pretty good game of chance.
Yeah, it's a good game. Risk. Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like you're given the random thing instantly, and you make a decision based on risk.
Yeah.
But what I don't like is RNG, like what you're talking about. But I also don't like RNG. Like in Smash.
Yeah.
So that's another hotly debated topic too. I mean, people have kind of gotten over it, but Hero was really hotly debated because everyone was like, dog, are you kidding me? Like he has a 1 in X number chance that every time he does a smash attack on you, it's just a crit. And if you're at 40%, you're dead.
You're dead. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like that. But what those people have seem to have forgotten is that Smash is a party game.
Yeah. So I feel like I think the worst. So Madden's pretty bad. Madden is really bad when it gets with
Madden
RNG.
Is pretty bad.
But what
I can't imagine getting good at it.
The RNG that no, you couldn't. The
terrible.
RNG that pisses me off the most is I don't know if anybody's ever played competitive Pokemon, but there's some moves in Pokemon that will place an effect on an opponent. So there's a move that's called Scald. It's a water type move that has a 30% chance of burning you. That's what it says, right? But the times that you just throw out a Scald and it burns the opponent, I feel is more than 30%. It's probably closer to like 60% of the time they're getting burned. And but it says 30%, right? Where another move called Focus Blast, which has it's a really powerful move, but it has a 70% chance to hit, misses constantly. It's the most it is like less than 50-50 if you're gonna hit that move. So it's almost not even worth putting on using on one of your teams because it just sucks. So that kind of stuff kind of pisses me off because I feel like I should hit more.
I mean, in that situation, they just lied.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but You see, like I haven't run the numbers to actually see if it's 70% of the time or 30%.
Well, then that completely changes the whole
feels.
conversation. You can't just go off of a feel. We've known for years that humans have fucking cognitive bias and confirmation bias.
Yeah.
And so they'll just say, well, it feels like it misses all the time.
I don't like it. But so that's what I'll say is I don't like the fact that, like, literally in the community, it's called focus miss because it misses so often. So it's just like, it's barely even worth using. Like to that point, but people love fucking Skull because of a 30% chance to.
Yeah, I mean, technically, it is worth using 70% of the time. If it was true to those numbers, it would actually hit 70% of the time. So it's not true that it's not worth using, you know. But if you just focus on all the times it misses and you fucking sit there and tell yourself it's gonna miss and then it misses, you remember all those misses way more than you remember all those hits, you know? And then in your mind, it starts to get skewed into like, oh, like you said, it hits only 50% of the time. When in reality, it could be hitting exactly what it said, 70%.
I guess that's true. But I mean, I don't. So back to the original question, I feel like RNG in gaming is kind of a necessary evil. Like you there's some points where you have to have it. So I don't feel like it's a bad thing necessarily. It just depends on how it's implemented in the game.
I think it can actually not just be a necessary evil. I actually think it can be a good. Yeah. I think there's
nothing more satisfying in Smash to me than hitting a 9 on somebody who doesn't deserve to die.
Yes.
And they're just done.
And they're out of there. Like a final smash hit them.
Right.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Like they're gone in the same way like the NPCs die in the trailer when they announce a new DLC character and they show them fighting and the enemies just die instantly.
Exactly.
That's I agree with you. Like, you know, but that situation's different because that move always does that. You know that. Like you know what you get what you pay for, you know?
Right.
You know that when I press this button, I'm gonna roll some dice. Right. I'm already okay with getting a 1.
That's kind of how I feel about hero smash attacks then. Because it's like, well, I know that should that character have something like that? That's one question. But
well, the difference with his smash attacks is first off that it's not as interesting as 9. 9 has like 9 different variants of the move that all do different things. Now, 1, 2, and 3, they're not that cool. But the rest of them are cool. You can freeze motherfuckers, bury them, heal yourself, lightning, you know what I'm saying? Like insta-kill. At least there's some variety.
Lightning, to be honest, like that's kind of overkill.
It's like the most powerful ability, yeah. But the point is like, you know, when you're using hero smash attacks, it doesn't feel like that. It's just the same attack 19 times. On the 20th time, it just kills.
Right. Got to roll those dice, baby.
And it's not like you... Right, but here's the difference. With Game & Watch's side B, if you get a bad number, you'll get punished for using the move.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen with Hero. It's still a normal smash attack.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
When you land the normal one, it can still kill. It's still a good smash attack.
Right.
It's just that
it
for
just
no reason, some of them are just OD as fuck. They just kill.
How do you feel about Heroes? Is it down B that does the menu?
Spells? Yeah. I think menu is a really cool concept. I think can you think of another example of that being done in a fighting game?
No, I don't.
Even Smash isn't one because it's a party game.
Yeah,
but that's never really been done. Like having the menu like that, that's really, really, I don't know. I think that's cool. What's not cool is the fact that there's a spell that you can just throw out. And the more damage they have, the higher percentage they have to die instantly. There's no knockback. There's no DI.
They just die.
It's like Sakurai goes into Photoshop, highlights them with the wand, and then presses delete. They just cease to exist. That stock is erased immediately. And there's footage
don't
of people...
get hit by it.
Dude,
so.
Yeah, I mean, don't get hit by it. I agree with you. But there's footage of motherfuckers...
Become better at the game.
There's footage of... that's rich coming from you. But there's footage of motherfuckers who have gotten hit for that shit at 20%, dude. 20%. And they just die. Imagine being in tournament. Imagine working your ass off, getting farther than you've ever gotten in a tournament bracket, you know? This is it. This is the moment. Right. And you fight a fucking hero, and he's like, whack, and you die and lose your first stock at 20%. He didn't even think that was going to happen. You know what I mean? Well, he just threw it out.
I think it's like football. There's in football, there's like a saying that there's 4 quarters in a game, So, you have to play all 4 quarters to see who wins.
Are there 4 quarters in a game?
There is 4 quarters in a game.
So why is it a saying? Isn't that just the rules?
No. So what people will say will be something like that happens. Like where it's usually in a game where there's like a controversial ending, like maybe a ref screwed a call at the last second or something like that.
It seems impossible for one team to win. And they're like, hey, there's always 4 quarters in the game.
No. It's like, let's say, it's like the last play of the game and I throw the ball and my dude catches it and it's a touchdown, but the ref says that he was out of bounds or something like that, so it doesn't count. But then like later on, people go back and look, and it does say that it was in bounds, like his feet were in bounds, and he actually caught the touchdown.
Okay.
And so a lot of the fans of my team would be mad because it was the one play that could have changed everything and they could have won.
Right.
But what 4 quarters in a game means is that, well, there were how many other plays in that game that you could have scored touchdowns, you could have won, but you didn't.
Oh yeah, you can't you can't just risk it all or like say it all came down to this.
Exactly, because there was a whole game that you played and that's just one play out of many. So if you were up by 20 points, that play wouldn't have mattered, but you weren't. So,
yeah, but that makes a big difference when the person you're fighting is at your skill level. It's going to be a hard fight. And then the beginning of the round, he just kills you at 20% from some complete random bullshit.
Yeah, but then you have 2 other stocks or 3 other stocks, however many stocks you have.
It can be very difficult, Oscar. Yeah. I think you underestimate how difficult it can be to win a game against a person who starts the round off having a stock lead on you.
Yeah, I know.
When you are the same skill level, especially when you're fighting a hero. A hero can be very campy if they want to. Yeah. And if it's a tournament, they will. They don't give a fuck about honor. I'm not talking about all hero players. I'm saying people in tournaments in general.
Right. Like the scum of the earth.
I'm not saying the scum of the earth. What I'm saying
you can say it. Them and,
hey.
Steve Mains.
Oh,
just go ahead and call it out. Call it out.
Yeah, if you're a Steve Main, stop watching. Stop watching the podcast. Dude. Stop watching the podcast. Yeah. I'm trying to have.
We don't need you to win.
Listen, when it says 37 views under my video, I'm cool with 36 because then at least I know my views are clean.
Yeah,
they're clean.
Yes.
But that aside, I get it. If you're in a tournament, you got to do what you got to do to win. You know what I mean? Like, you got to respect that. Like, I get it.
Unless they're a Steve player and they use minecart. So, continue.
Right. Yeah, and then they get Mickey. But I'm just saying, like, you got to do everything you got to do to win. And if you got to play campy to win, you got to play campy to win. It's on them for not figuring out how to do it.
Right.
But like, that is some bullshit, dude. That's imagine how you'd feel if that happened to you.
Well, I feel like that if I was like a player at that caliber,
that was good.
I feel like if I was a player at that caliber where I was playing professionally, like making money off of it.
I feel like we're talking about like if pigs could fly right now. I don't even know how to like imagine this hypothetical. It's so different from reality that this is a real abstract that you're going into right now.
I feel like there's not a lot of yes anding going on, but okay. I feel like if I was a player at that caliber, playing at that level, that I would practice for that. Maybe I would have a friend that I could scrimmage with and like start off at a lower level, or a lower stock count, just in case that happened. That would be part of my training regimen.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. You just don't expect, you expect that to be something that you have to do, assuming that you performed badly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you SD'd or like the opponent was they were either so much better than you or they had a great first round and they like 0 to death you. You know what I mean? Where like they just played out of their mind. But in this situation, we're talking about a person pressed down B. That's it. Person pressed down B, you lost the stock.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like you said, you take that chance. I mean,
I'll say it. I don't think you're capable of saying it. I'll say it. I think it's bullshit.
Okay.
I'll say it's bullshit.
I didn't say it's like the best feeling in the world, but like
no, but like that move, like whack in general. I'll say it. I think it's bullshit to have a move in a game that can just like delete you.
Fair.
Like with no, by the way, there's almost no risk involved because it costs very little mana and there's hardly any like in lag on the animation when Hero does it. It's not like, Game & Watch, where even though his move is kind of fast, it'll hit you at melee range, so he has to get close to you. Wag goes for like a little distance, so he can just do it. They'll do it to ledge trap you.
Isn't it called thwack?
There's a whack and there's a thwack, and both of them kill you. I think thwack hits instantly in front of them, and whack is a little projectile that goes out, and then if you touch the projectile, it has the effects of thwack on you. Does that make sense? So he has two. It's pretty bullshit,
Yeah.
And on top of that, he has crits. So that's why a lot of people are like,
But here's the thing that I think you're forgetting, and this will probably be my last point on it, is that they paid a lot of money to be able to use that character, so I don't see a problem with it.
They paid $5.
Yeah, they paid money for that, so
$5.
Why not? If that's how Nintendo wants to run their games, is that it's pay to win. That's just how Nintendo wants to run their games.
There's lots of high tier characters that aren't DLC.
Sure, but none of them have like a thwack.
Yeah, but Hero's not high tier.
You're not high tier. Anyway,
wow.
With that, I was wanting to get into our, some news topics that I found interesting, and I wanted to share with the people. Now, these news topics are interesting, but I saw these two and I was like, what are the greater questions that can be answered with this? How can I take this further than it is? And so for the first one, it's a woman gets 21 years for trying to kill her doppelganger with a poisoned cheesecake.
Now, what's going on here?
So this lady, she went insane, and it's like a Russian lady, and there's like a mental disease to where some people think that there's like another person who looks exactly like them and that they're evil. I don't know the medical term for it, but there's
actually like a mental condition for that.
it's like a psychiatric disease, and I guess this woman just took it too far. She thought this other lady looked a little too much like her and didn't like that, and killed her with a cheesecake. But that's not the interesting part of the story to me.
Oh,
the interesting part of the story is like, what if, like, what would you do if there was a doppelganger of you?
Before we even get into that, tell the listeners what happened.
Yeah,
I mean, given the full, like, how did she kill her? Like, what's the, you know what I mean? Like, what happened?
Well, yeah. So the thing is that she was a very dangerous woman, and
she was a dangerous woman.
Yeah, like she was she had been badgering this lady for a while, like over and over again, and like the cops have been called and stuff like that. And
repeat offender over here.
Yeah, it was a repeat offender, and then eventually, let's see. It says that she like tried to make amends with her. It was like her, the doppelganger lady, and like a third person was in the room, and she was like, you know what, I'm sorry. I know I've been wilding for a while. I've gotten help, and like I just want you to, are we cool? Type thing. And she brought a cheesecake with her, and she cuts the cheesecakes and she hands out each of them. One of them's been poisoned, and the lady ate it, and then like a few hours later she started like throwing up and stuff like that, and then she died because of the poison. So yeah, it
says right here, prosecutors say Nasirova, which is the only way I know how to pronounce her name, gave her friend cheesecake laced with a highly potent sedative, then scattered pills around her unconscious body. You want to talk about that part?
Yeah.
You want to talk about why she scattered pills around her unconscious body?
Well, maybe she wanted to make it seem like a suicide.
I don't think it. I don't think it worked. I don't think it worked because she got 21 years. So she didn't kill the lady. It doesn't say in here that she killed her, does it? It says that she was unconscious. Her unconscious body.
That it was just unconscious. I see.
So in the title, the headline says a woman gets 21 years for trying to kill her doppelganger.
Yeah.
So thank God that she didn't kill this presumably innocent woman who just happened to look like this other individual.
Right.
Wow. Crazy shit goes on in Russia, man.
Bro, Russia's
different.
Listen, because of the political
implications
and kind of, the geopolitical implications of what's going on in the world right now, I will refrain from saying anything too bad against Russia.
I'm just saying they're different, as in they're a different country.
They're different.
Like,
I'm just saying that just in case, I don't want this to be used against me if I saying anything bad. I don't want any evidence.
Oh my God. So get to your question about the doppelganger thing.
Yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to talk about, like, Nathan, what would you do if there was a doppelganger in your life? Somebody just came and started trying to take over your life, and they looked exactly like you. They had all your memories and stuff like that. Like, how would you go about that situation? Sort of a, this goes back to our talk about the Wendigos, but.
Yeah, exactly. It would never happen. I'm of the opinion that there's a plan for everything, and there's a plan for Murphy's Law. You know what I mean? Murphy's Law is a thing, so plan for it. That's my kind of perspective on it.
Right.
So I think that, I don't know, man. I would probably try to talk to many of the people that I know who are important in my life.
Right.
And then I would give them some sort of like secret code or like some sign that only we knew. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I would say, no matter what, if the doppelganger tries to emotionally manipulate you or anything or convince you they're real, I promise they are not unless they know this code.
Right.
And they'll think I'm crazy, but they'll hear me out. You know what I mean? And yeah, just use that code.
I think it would depend on I think it would depend on the doppelganger, because if the doppelganger knew everything about you and they knew that code, you'd be kind of screwed.
Why would they know that code?
Maybe the doppelganger was made after the code was made.
I wouldn't make a code if there was no doppelganger. I'm not going to go talk to everybody and be like, hey, y'all, in the case that I have then I'd be that lady.
So what if the doppelganger got to your friend first and it was like, well, if I come back and say there's a code and it's not this code, then it's not real.
I'd probably say, I'd probably just say that they would believe.
How would you convince me that you were the real Nathan?
I wouldn't try to convince you. I would go from the beginning. As soon as I found out about the doppelganger, I would go to those people and be like, this is the code. That's it. If they try to come and change the code, that's not it. If they try to make a new code, it's not me. If they try to talk without the code, it's not me. So I'd be good. If they tried to come and make a new code, I'm good.
Okay. So how would, if I then knew that there was a doppelganger, say you convinced me there was a doppelganger, right?
Yeah.
How would I know I'm not talking to the doppelganger? Like, what's a piece of information
I would give you the code.
Okay. Well,
you see how that works?
Well, yeah, but how do I know that you are Nathan? Because if it's me, right?
You don't. You have to go off of the person who gave you the code.
So if the doppelganger came up to me first and was like, hey, I'm going to give you a code. Because I feel like a lot of people in that scenario would come up with a code.
Literally the hypothetical you're building right now on the show is that there's a person who has all your memories and acts exactly like you. You are constructing yourself a hypothetical where it is impossible for the person that they're talking to discern whether it's the real person or the doppelganger. So there's no point in really talking about that aspect of it because you made it that way. Well, you constructed a hypothetical where it's impossible for them to discern. But I would, that's all. What else can I do? What else can I do?
You know what I was fishing for?
You know what I'd do? I'd cut my arm off.
And I'd be like, oh, that's badass.
Nathan would do that.
And I'd shoot the other one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You don't have the stones.
Exactly.
Bam.
I'd scream the code and cut my arm off.
I'd probably shoot you because then I would think that like Nathan's not crazy enough to cut his own arm off.
I'd probably splash water on the doppelganger and it'd be like, ah! you know? Wow.
I feel like I could come up with something like a moment that we've shared, or I feel like you know,
It has all your memories.
yeah, I know, but it wouldn't know how to use them. So like, what if you guys? It'd be something stupid, like something fucking stupid that it would like trip up on. You guys be hanging out with the doppelganger here one day, you know, while I was doing something else, and you guys be like talking or whatever, and you'd just be like, oh man, One Piece sure does suck or something like that, and he'd be like, yeah, I feel you. Like just to try and, you know, win you over, and then you're like, he would never say that.
Yeah, but like I don't know. You got to be clear about the hypothetical, because if it's a you were saying it's a doppelganger that has all your memories and acts exactly like you.
What if it's
you know what I mean? Like you can't just go off of shows like SpongeBob where they have doppelganger episodes and they get them because the doppelganger acts different. Like, is it a perfect doppelganger or not? Is it a perfect replica or not? Is it a person acting like you, or is it literally a clone of you?
Do you think that you could beat up your doppelganger?
I mean, just as much as they could me.
How would you do it? Tell me your weaknesses.
Wait, beat up or kill? What are you saying? A fist fight? Kill. Or are you just saying kill them?
To the death, I would assume, because once that seal's broken, there's no going back.
I mean, there's two ways to go about it.
Okay.
Number one is just kill me at night. Just walk in my room at night, you know? Let's say it's past like 1, 12, midnight, you know what I mean? Let's say I'm in bed at midnight. It's not that weird of an hour for there to be noises. Some of my roommates might still be up. Someone might be coming in my room. That's happened. People have knocked on my door at that late, you know? I'd be totally unprepared. I'd be in my bed. I wouldn't be ready to fight at all. There you go.
Oh, so you'd bring a gun?
Yeah. Just
okay.
The other way is
bitch out.
That's why I said a fight to the death or kill.
Yeah. You're saying that you wouldn't kill your doppelganger with your own hands?
No, I'd fucking shoot him.
All right, keep going.
Wow.
keep going. Keep going.
Wow, this question has really changed. You know, he said, do you think you could beat up your doppelganger? And I was about to have a whole conversation about
tell me. Okay,
and then he said, no, wait. It's
tell me about the second.
Them.
Tell me about the second one.
Well, the second one is not about beating them up at all. I have a whole scenario in my head if I were to fist fight him, but you didn't let me do that.
Okay, go ahead.
Which one?
Do the second one, and then maybe you can, if we have time, do the
all
fist
right.
fight.
Well, the second one is that I would try and do subconscious. I would try to plant little things around my doppelganger to make him want to take a trip to a park. Any park.
Okay. Psychological warfare.
Yes.
All right.
Any park. Even I have been wanting to go out for a walk recently, so it would be.
Maybe you're the doppelganger.
You're right. Maybe I am.
This is what you would.
But you know what I mean. I would do that, and then I would. I'd drive up to the park and park my car somewhere farther away, but not too far away that I couldn't get back to it, you know? And I'd wait till there was no one around, and I'd walk up to him and I'd shoot him. And then I would not get near his body, walk back in my car, and drive 5 hours away until I was out of the town, and just live somewhere else for a long time. That's all I'd do. They wouldn't be able to trace the gun. I'd have the gun on me. I could dispose of it 5 hours away. That 5 hour away town is not going to be looking for people from this other town.
Well, you know what would be interesting about that, actually, is that if you shot him in a specific way, like if you...
Make it look like a suicide?
You could make it look like a suicide, because you would have his fingerprints, or he would have yours, or whatever.
Well, where would they get fingerprints?
Well, I mean, but like you could shoot him with the gun and put the gun in his hand.
I don't need to do that, though, because... if I did that, I would be giving away even fingerprints. I don't even have to give away fingerprints. Why put the gun in his hand? Why? Just take it. But why? Just take it with me. You know.
Would you tell your family?
No, that's like a big no-no when you're trying to kill someone. You don't tell other people that you're going to kill somebody.
No, I mean after you kill them.
No. No.
So you would,
Oscar, it would still be murder.
Do
you really? I
don't know.
You really think the court of law would be like, nah, it was clearly him. But it's not murder.
Right. It's you, right? It's
no,
you.
Oscar, that's not how that's gonna go.
They're gonna be like, okay, this guy didn't have like
I swear
twin.
it was me, officer.
Check his fingerprints. They're exactly the same as mine.
You know what, everyone? Normally, we say that this is an identical twin, but we are completely convinced in this murder case that not only did this man not kill this other person, this is the only time in history that a doppelganger has ever come into existence. I'm willing to believe it. He's innocent.
That's what all the evidence would point to.
No, it wouldn't, because in the process of prosecuting me, I would fuck up and somehow admit to the murder. They'd find some shit on me. Why even go?
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, but you don't have to go through all that. Don't even go through all that. Stop. Period. Cut. Don't even go through all that. Just don't leave your fucking gun at the crime scene. It's murdering
so
101.
what you're saying is that you would kill the doppelganger, then leave.
Yes. Be 5 hours away.
Go 5 hours away. Yeah. Move into fucking, I don't know, Dallas or whatever.
Who knows? Whatever.
Yeah, wherever. You know,
I'd just be living on the low in some other town.
Living on the low.
Not even Dallas. That's kind of a higher metropolitan area. A smaller town.
Fine.
That's not connected. You know what I mean?
Fine. Laredo. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
I cross that one off the list of towns I can go to after a murder now that I've said it on the show real quick.
All right. But I'm just saying you go to this other place and you let your family think that you died. Right? You put your mom, you put your dad, and all your family through your death, have them bury you because they just think that you were murdered, and then live on the low for a while, and then what? Come back? Would you never talk to your family again?
You know what I'd do?
That's what I'm asking you. That's the question.
You know what I'd do?
What would you do?
I'd wait like 3 weeks. And then I'd call my family. And I would act like everything's normal.
What the fuck are you talking about? I didn't die.
Yeah.
Like, gaslight the hell out of them.
I'd just be like, what do you mean? I'm right here, obviously. And they wouldn't know what to think.
Right.
Don't give them an answer. Just be like, I don't know what you mean. They'd show me footage and I'd be like, holy fuck. That's me. That's me. And I'm like, holy shit, that's me. And they'd be like, yeah, I know. We saw this on footage.
See, now here's...
And I'd be like, this is amazing. I mean, I don't know. But I'd be like, but I'm scared to talk to the cops about it because like, I don't want to get involved with that stuff,
So play with me in this space right now. Think about it. I
like the way you said that.
Think about it, right? Just imagine. You do this. You come back and you say like, oh my God, I don't know what the fuck happened. Now all of a sudden... brother, fucking doppelganger? This is the doppelganger. That's not the real Nathan. He killed the real Nathan.
If they said that,
coming back.
If they said that, I'd stop talking to him. I'd just like stay away from him.
Yeah, I'm sure that will quell all the questions that they have about this doppelganger.
But I'm not interested in quelling their questions. If you're suggesting a thing where, again, I can't possibly convince them that I'm the real Nathan, there's no point. Why even try to quell their questions? Just avoid the danger. This is why I said earlier that I wouldn't call my family. This is why I said earlier that I just wouldn't contact them because it's better to just not be involved. Honestly, that'd be pretty sick. The world would have marked me off as dead. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a lot I could do. I couldn't travel to another country.
No.
So ideally, this doppelganger murder would happen sometime after August.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have any like credit. You wouldn't have like... You would have to come up with a whole nother...
There's benefits and cons for sure. Yeah. But I wouldn't... Yeah, I mean, personally, I wouldn't even kill my doppelganger. Unless he was, this being that was just set on killing everyone I loved. Then, yeah, obviously, I'm going to fucking do what I can do.
You would just let him take over?
No. I said unless. If he's trying to do that, if he's trying to like,
no, what if he's just trying to live your life?
To the extreme that he'll do violence against me to take it over, I'll defend myself. But if he's not, if he's just my doppelganger and he's just like, what the fuck, then I'd team up with him, bro. Have you ever thought of that? Like, what if you could clone yourself and like team up with them?
Yeah. And have them do all the stuff that you don't want to do.
No, I wouldn't do that. I would become friends with them and I would genuinely accomplish a bunch of shit. Like we'd both work together. Like he'd be working on real estate shit and I'd be working on real estate shit. He'd be fucking doing chores and I'd be doing fucking chores. I would just do two times the work. I'd be a monster, dude. I could accomplish 2 times the work.
Bad. Okay.
And we'd both be hanging out. We could both go drink together. We could both fucking play games together. You know what I mean?
This is my buddy, my doppelganger.
Yeah, it'd be sick.
This is Nathan 2.
It'd be sick.
And then you guys fight over who's Nathan 1 and who's Nathan 2.
No, I think you just have a mind where everything just goes wrong. Like it doesn't have to be like that.
I'm saying that would possibly. Would you like to be called Nathan 2?
I would just call him Nathan.
Yeah, but
I would talk. I mean, if you want to be real, both me and my doppelganger, we'd be the kind of people that would talk it out. We'd talk it out. We'd be like, all right, what's a naming system that we're both happy with? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't want to do like Nathan Alpha and Nathan Beta.
Yeah, you really want to stay away from that because it'd be impossible to call.
I want to be Nathan Beta.
It'd be impossible to call one of us a beta. I mean, that would just be laughable. But what about you? What would you do if you had a doppelganger?
That's a good question.
Strangle him?
I think that okay, so I guess we'll do one of each scenario. One where the doppelganger's hostile and one where he's like a friendly, right? So if he was hostile and I knew that.
And you knew that ahead of time is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. I'd need to convince some people that I would need to get to people first, right? And convince them that, hey, something's going on. I'm the real Oscar, right? And in order to do that, I would say, I think the code thing could work.
Okay.
But I think that in order to do it, there has to be some kind of mark, right? Kind of like in Alabaster or something like that, where I would cut like myself on my arm or something like that, somewhere that the doppelganger didn't know about.
You're just looking for an excuse to cut yourself.
Yeah, I'm in a lot of mental anguish right now, but I would cut myself my arm or something like that, or maybe get a tattoo or something to say that like, this is me. I'm real guy, and I would
you get a tattoo. You'd get a tattoo saying, "It's me."
Or I would just get a tattoo that the doppelganger doesn't have, and I would be like, "Hey guys."
And what's to stop the doppelganger from doing that? You see the problem in this hypothetical that you created?
Well, yes, but see, I would because this is after the doppelganger's created. So after, in my mind, after the doppelganger's created, we're separate entities, right? So we wouldn't know what each other are thinking.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, imagine if you were trying to sit here and convince that to someone else and they were like, well, how do I know that you're not the doppelganger and you just got a fucking tattoo that says, I'm the real one, lol. I mean, what's to say that that's not what happened? How can you convince me? That's the problem. That's why
I think I could just berate you in a way, like I could talk shit to you in a way that you'll be like, oh yeah.
If it's a perfect clone, you both could do that. You both have the exact same neurological pathways in your brain. You have the same memories and tendencies, habits and biases, thought patterns. You're the exact same person. Yeah, that's why I'm always like, I don't really get the doppelganger thing, because the whole point of it is that they're an exact clone of you. Give up on convincing the other person, unless you're lucky, unless you manage to convince them, and then you're like, great, I promise I'm the real one. But I mean, there's not much you can do, man. There's not much you can do. At least I know that if I had a doppelganger, I'd try to reason with him while you try to poison him with a fucking cheesecake.
I guess that would be my only play, huh? To kill him.
Cheesecake poison.
No, to kill him before he got to anyone.
That's right. Just kill him.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, I just kill him in a park, bro. You know?
Would I let him take over my life? I would. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would do. I'd make a clean break. I would realize that there was, that's smart. I'd realize that there was a doppelganger, leave, let him take over my life. I know what I would be doing at certain times. Find a time where he's alone, kill him, swap places with him, and then I'm back to.
But what if he puts your life in a really shitty place? Now you have to deal with his. What do you mean by that?
Huh?
What do you mean by that?
I'm just saying, he's me and I'm him. And, as Oscar Lewis Wheeler IV, I live my life to a certain standard, and I feel like that even my doppelganger would live below that standard.
Let's talk about the next article. We've got a something you sent me here about a fireball in Maine. What is that? So
it was like a meteor or something that fell. And now the authorities are like, hey, if anybody finds parts of this meteor, we'll pay you. How much money was it?
Oh, it says here $25,000.
$25,000 for a part of a meteor.
That's a significant amount of money.
Yeah, that's a pretty penny. And I just thought that it'd be cool. Like, what if we just you, me, and a bunch of the boys just went up to, where is it, Maine or Maryland?
Maine.
Yeah, if we just went up to Maine and started looking for this rock, and it's like the treasure of a lifetime.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome if it didn't happen on April 13th.
Yeah, it would be. Well, has it been found?
I'm sure most of the space rock pieces have been found. I mean, maybe. I'm sure, 25,000, they probably had a lot of people out there. Yeah, maybe. I mean, you got to think about the citizens.
Although it does sound like the beginning of a Stephen King book, like a horror book.
It happened right outside of Canada. It happened. Yeah. So it happens right outside a city. Wait.
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot of people who went out there and
yeah, but I mean, I think that would be a cool thing to do, is to go, because they have things like that. There's people who have left behind treasure as like their will, and or like a lot of money, and then put it somewhere out in the
forest or something,
wilderness, and left clues, and you could go and hunt that. I always thought that'd be cool to do.
You know what I don't understand about this article?
What?
Why do they keep calling it a fireball? Because they even say in here that it's a meteorite.
Yeah.
But they use the word rare fireball not once, not twice, but 3 times. Rare fireball.
Have you ever thought it could be from Big Fireball? It's like a psyop.
There's not a lot of depth to this joke, but fuck it, I'm gonna dive in anyway. Yeah, it could be Big Fireball trying to change the public opinion about fireballs. Yeah, definitely. It could be a big conspiracy by Big Fireball. Is this what you wanted?
Big Fireball, yeah. It's funny.
Yeah.
I know you wouldn't get that, but I think it'd be interesting to just go out into the wilderness and treasure hunt. But it's something that you would do when you're retired, when you have.
I think that would be pretty boring.
What? You go on an adventure with the homies. That's what you were talking about earlier. How you want to go on an adventure.
That would be cool that we're doing something new. But if I wanted to go on an adventure, I already have places I want to go that are.
We can go out into the middle of Maine and we can go and fight. What's his name? Pennywise and
dog. Not every forest is haunted by paranormal activity. Forests are just forests. Normal forests.
I was just making the joke because Maine is where most of Stephen King's books happen.
Oh, see, I didn't know that about. I didn't know that about.
Well,
Stephen
maybe
King.
If you read. But yeah, no, I would just go and I would just go out with the boys and we just go and look for this fucking meteorite for as long as it took to find it, and then we'd, cash out.
Wait a second. Hold on. Pause everything. I just checked. That fireball article was April 13th.
Mm-hmm.
that doppelganger article was April 21st.
Shout out, Anna.
What if the doppelganger, and I know this sounds crazy, but just stay with me on this. What if the doppelganger came from space?
Yeah.
Landed in Maine, went to Russia, and then that happened. Just saying.
Wait, TM. If in case we ever want to write like a book or a movie or something about this.
Work, but
TM. And that's our idea, and nobody can take it now.
Wait, you're saying we turn that into like a
movie?
Whatever. Okay, let's talk about
That'd be a cool movie.
It would be a cool movie. Damn, I'm glad you trademarked it. It could be a pretty cool movie if we like.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for no reason, they come from space. There's no reason. It's only one.
They're an alien. They're an alien species.
Don't give them the ideas.
I'm not. I already trademarked
That's
it. They
not
can't,
how that works.
Nathan, it is illegal for them to take it now because
it isn't.
Your Honor, it is on recording. I said TM. I have the trademark for it. It was my idea. And so it would be like an alien creature that came from space, and it could shapeshift into different people. Maybe this one wouldn't have your memories, but maybe it could like read your mind or something like that. Oh man, there's so much potential here.
Speaking of shape-shifting into different people, how do you feel your attempt to shape-shift me into someone who likes wrestling has been?
Oh, that was a nice segue.
Thanks.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like you're being a real wet blanket about it. But
you said thank you for giving your honest opinion.
I'm
being genuine about it.
I'm being genuine too. I would like to say that I am grateful that you're trying, and I just think you haven't had that moment yet to where you believed. You know, I don't, and I think it's like a psychological thing where you're not letting yourself.
It really isn't, bro.
Believe.
It really isn't. Like,
it's like. Just you're like it's like one of those Lifetime movies where, you know, the lawyer from the big city goes back to her small town, and she doesn't believe in Christmas, and she doesn't think that like there's no magic in the world left because she's so jaded with the
Oscar,
big city.
Just because I think wrestling is lame, it doesn't mean that I have. I think there's no joy in life.
I feel like you're the protagonist to a Lifetime movie, and you don't want to let yourself believe. And I feel like I am the guy that is going to show you the magic in a totally platonic way. Pause. I'm just saying.
Nice. Yes. Nice. God. Yeah, and if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be you.
Yeah, it's gonna be me. I just have to show you that there's something to believe in, and I'm just trying to
believe in. It's just two people hitting each other on the ring.
No, it's so much more than that, though, dude. Like it's so hard to explain. You just have, like, once you see it, you'll know, and you'll be like, wow.
Well, you can keep it up, man. You just keep it up, because I'm just here to clock in, watch my wrestling, and clock out.
So what did you? So we didn't really talk about it last week, but what did you feel about the past 2 weeks of what I've shown you? Because I've shown you 2 pay-per-views. So because you seem to be more receptive.
I did tell you.
Go ahead, talk to the people.
Well, this week was all right, and the week before was better. The one before was
thrilling commentary, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I was getting into it. The one before was
Revolution.
Yeah, and that had right. Thank you. MJF versus. Hold on. MJF versus Brian Grant.
No. Ooh, that was really wrong. Try again. They said his name like 50 million times. Yeah. It was an hour-long match, and they said his name like 50 million times.
I don't know. Some guy who's like a technical wrestler.
Brian.
Oh, it was Brian.
Yes, Brian what? I'll give you a hint. It starts with a D.
Brian Dyan. It's Brian Dyan.
I feel like I'm wasting my life. Anyway,
that's how I feel.
It's Brian Danielson.
Oh yeah, I would have never remembered that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that guy, he's MJF is fighting him, and it was at least decent because MJF is like a decent actor, and this one was all right. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't like terrible, but it was kind of whatever. I don't know. Like, I do sit there and I watch it and like I listen and I understand the stories because we talk about it and I get the plot of everything.
Right.
It's not like I'm not paying attention or like, letting the story happen or anything. But at the end of the day, it's just two dudes that just like kind of like fake hit each other for like an hour. And then like, that's it, I liked so far, the best thing you've ever shown me was on week 2 when you showed me Kenny Omega versus Rainmaker. That's the best thing you've ever shown me. That felt like more of a performance. That was great. Everything you've shown me so far has really not been up to the same quality. I think you don't really understand.
It was a 7-star match.
I don't think you really understand the reason why I don't like it. In your mind, you think you have some narrative, but in reality, I'm just a high standards, picky ass wrestling mania person. I'm just a critic. I require a high pedigree of show. And when I get it, then I'm interested. What if I just have, shitty high standards? What if I'm just a snob? What if I'm just a wrestling snob? And I didn't even know it. You have to think about those things. You have to think about all the different ways. You can't just be stuck to your own narrative, You could test that. We could find out if that was the case. But I like that a lot. I like that one a lot more
because it's hard to. That's hard because you're very very new to the product, and I feel like in order to be a wrestling snob, you have to know what like.
No, I didn't. I fucking thought that match was the best thing you've ever shown me, and guess what? It was. So I don't have to have an experience at all. I don't have to be an experienced watcher to be able to feel that match was better, because that's what a good match does.
Right. It's a very difficult situation because I can show you more matches that are on that level, but in order to do that, I'll have to like spend money and find them online and stuff like that. So I'm trying to find a way for you to get you to appreciate.
I'm just going to tell it to you like this. If you want to get me to like wrestling, you can go about it one of two ways. You can go about it in one way where you just kind of take the easy route, show me stuff that's going on nowadays, show me the stuff that you can show me. Or you can go route 2 where you pull out the best shit and you show it to me. You got 2 options. But so far, how's the first option working for you? And didn't I tell you that second week was the best one I've seen? And I said that since that day.
Yeah. You said that. It's just those matches are good on their own for just being matches. What makes them great is the storytelling that went into those matches. There will be matches in the future that will make you feel like that, but you're not going to get the whole picture if you don't get the story behind it, if that makes any sense.
I mean,
if you're not invested into the characters and why they're fighting and what they're fighting for, there's a whole part of the match that you're missing. And I can sit there and tell you what happened.
Yep.
Right? But I feel like that is not as pure as you experiencing it, getting it.
So because of that, I have to just watch less exciting matches for months so that I can watch an exciting match. Is that what you're saying?
It's not just about the matches, it's about the characters.
Okay.
And stuff like that. Yeah.
Right, but that's what you're saying?
Yes.
All right. Well, keep doing what you're doing and we'll see if my opinion changes.
All right. That's I guess that's what we're getting with that.
But how's Elden Ring going, bud?
So, and I don't want any shit for this. I tried to.
That's a great way to start a sentence. I don't want any shit for what I'm about to say.
Yeah, I don't want any shit for what I'm about to say.
For it.
I don't want any shit for this.
Okay.
But I have not played Elden Ring this week. And this is because we're currently recording my playthrough for a video for you guys. And every time that I've asked to play,
I'm down to record tomorrow.
Every time that I've asked to play, Nathan's been like, oh man, well, you know, I'm super low energy right now. I really just don't feel like I'll give my best on camera. I just really feel like, you know, it's not a good time.
I do care
so
about,
maybe we could do this later. Mind you, it was his idea to do this.
I do care about my, like, putting on a good show because you're going to be focused. And so I need to give commentary and like,
I care about putting on a good show. So we can't really do it right now, man. I'm also tired. It's like 8:30 and like I have to get, you know, I don't think now
it was not
time
8:30. I'm pretty sure it was like midnight. Then, it was like 1.
And you know, I just really feel like, you know, it just hurts sometimes. Like I feel like.
Okay, stop. I do not break down crying. I do not fucking break down crying.
When you ask me to record Elden Ring, it just sometimes I feel like it's just so hard. And I just,
so how come you're saying
like you don't see me as a person? And I, like, it's not fair. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to me.
And he'll just go on like that for like a good 45 minutes. And then at that point, I'm just kind of tired with the conversation. So I'll be like, all right, Nathan, we don't have to record right now. We can record some other time. And that basically happened all this week. And so I was not able to record. I apologize for Nathan's antics, everyone. But next week for sure, we'll have something for you guys in my journey through Elden Ring, because right now I'm in the middle of a boss fight and I really kind of want to just beat the crap out of her and get it over with. And so I can tell you guys how my experience went with that. Now, Nathan, did you have anything you want to add?
Oh, I was just, I had a stopwatch going. I was seeing how long it was going to be before I was allowed to talk. Looks like it was about 33 seconds. You got a high score there. First off,
I know that's a long time for you, but
yeah, it's a long time for anybody. But first off, I had like one time, I think it was like Thursday or Friday night, where he was like, hey, now that we're done watching 2 hours of wrestling and you're like laying down on the couch because you're so tired because it was so boring, you want to play some Elden Ring? And I was like, dude, like, I'm fucking exhausted. I'm tired. I'm fucking low energy. I'm grumpy. Like, it's just going to sound like shit if I try to record, you know, this episode. And I want it to be good because this is like a special episode and it's awesome. It's funny. Oscar, like, you literally get to watch him go insane. It's fucking awesome. So I was like, you know what? Now's not the time. Plus, we usually don't do that anyway. We usually don't play Elden Ring right after I'm done wrestling. You know what I mean?
I mean, we've in the past.
But we usually don't. So I was like, let's just do it another day. And then the second time he asked me was at the end of a day. It was like literally, it was like midnight.
It was not midnight.
When was it?
It was like maybe 9:30. Maybe, because it was right before we started watching. What were we doing?
Are you sure about that?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you're mixing. I think you're mixing that up with the wrestling.
No, it was before. It was before we started watching Hunter and all that.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, but I think it was like 10, dude.
Yeah, it was like 9:30, 10. Yeah. Which normally is not an issue for us.
I wouldn't record our podcast at 10 either. Like, I would like to. Look, dude, this is just who you've chosen to go into this thing with.
I understand.
I'm a person who
I understand.
I'm a person who I need to. Don't say it. I'm a person who I need to do it a little bit earlier in the day so that I'm higher energy, because I do get sleepy and shit. Hey, you're the one who, remember that whole conversation we had about like getting tired earlier because you're waking up early and like doing shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're the one who pushed me to.
I totally 100% am with you on not burning out. I'm not going to give you shit for that. However, if it is funny to me, I might give you a little here.
Hey, what's wrong with that, right?
What's wrong with that?
Well, it's been a good one. It's been a solid 1 hour, 4 minutes and 15 seconds. But
16, 17.
Oscar, is there anything else you'd like to say to the people, or?
I would just like to say before we head out, for the questions of the day, make sure you guys submitting your questions. If you have questions that you want us to answer on the podcast, go into the description of the YouTube videos and you can click that link and then ask us a question, ask away. I had somebody ask about that and they didn't know how to do it. So I just wanted to reiterate it here. That's how it can be done. And we will eventually get to your questions. We're just going through all of them right now. I also want to thank you guys for keeping up with us for so long. This is a great experience. Me and Nathan really enjoy this time recording for you guys every week, and the feedback that we've been getting has been immaculate. Keep it coming. Let us know what we could be doing better. Give us notes. We're open to it. But thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. Nathan, anything?
No, I thought that was great. That was your first try telling people to check the description for the questions, and it needs a little practice, but I think you did pretty good. I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud of you. But I think we're gonna have to wrap it up. So thanks for listening, y'all. We'll be back with the 12th episode. And Oscar, why don't you take us away?
Yeah, man. So just like every week, you never know what anybody's going through, so be kind to everybody. And with that, I'll say see you later.
Peace.
Hogarth.
Oh, brother.